Hi everybody, I just finished grading Essay 2 and I used a rubric to try to give you even more feedback this time. So I want to demonstrate to you how to access that. First, when you're turning it in, if you have questions about how anything works, you can always go to the Help section here. And you can either search for something specific, or what I did is I just looked through this menu and went down to Student Issues and Rubrics. So if you open this, how to view rubrics attached to a paper, gives you a little article explaining how to see the rubric. And so we want to look at this part, how to look at it after you've submitted a paper, since I just created it. Basically, you go to the home page and then you click on the View button for the assignment, and that opens GradeMark in a new window. And the grades are now available, so you shouldn't have a problem with this. And if you look at the bottom right and click on the rubric icon and it looks like a stack of blocks, that will open up the rubric. Also, I always do comments within the text itself, so be sure to look at those, and usually a brief end comment along with your score. So now you have three things to look at: my comments in the text of your essay, the end comment, and the rubric. So again, today I really want to show you the rubric and explain how it works. So I have to kind of get into my documents here. And show you this rubric. Sorry, just a minute. So I'm going to show you the rubric I created, and I really hope it helps you understand where your grade comes from. Wrong one, of course. Here we go. Okay, so this is the same kind of rubric I use in my face-to-face class, and I adapted it for online grading. Basically, I have 6 criteria. I'm going to go through each one with you here on the side. And each criteria is worth a certain percent of your grade. And then there's a sliding scale here of A, B, C, D, and F. And so don't worry too much about these numbers, but an A is basically 100%. A B is a solid B. A C is in the C range, that's what these numbers mean. A D is in the D range, and the 60s, and an F is clearly much lower. The way this works, I have a description here of what an A, outstanding introduction, is like. And then I, over here, have a description of what a C introduction is like. And here what an F introduction is like. And then, of course, there are categories for in between C and F, or in between A and C. So when I grade your paper, you will see on the rubric that your introduction was ranked as either an A, B, C, D, or hopefully not F. And that way you know if you did well with the introduction or if it's an area for you to work on for next time. So for example, for the introduction here, I was looking for an outstanding introduction that has a good hook and has a good transition, and that the thesis responds directly to the prompt. And as I discussed in my lecture and as the example essay demonstrated, you needed a hook and you needed to introduce Linda Seeger in the article Creating the Myth, along with the hero myth itself, and then transition into talking about your movie and how it follows the hero myth. So this introduction was rather complicated. You had a lot to do, so it was challenging. The second criteria is organization. And again, we have the sliding scale. I was looking for very strong topic sentences, transitions within and between paragraphs, and that your body paragraphs were unified and coherent. That would be an A. If you notice a C, you have identifiable and relevant topic sentences, but they're not as advanced or well written. You have adequate transitions, but maybe they could be improved. And for organization, perhaps your paper displayed problems with unity, meaning some of the paragraphs didn't stay on topic or didn't flow well, etc. That'd be a C range. Or if it fell between the two, it'd be in the B range, and so on. The third criteria is development. This is basically the analysis section. Remember, we needed to stay away from too much plot summary here, and remember the purpose was to talk about the 6 specific phases of the hero myth and how closely your hero's journey followed them by comparing and contrasting the two. Sources is the next criteria, and this was looking at how well you integrated quotes and paraphrases. One thing I want to make sure everyone is very careful about is either you've got to choose a path. You either need to quote something word for word, exactly, in quotation marks, or if you're going to paraphrase it, that means you've totally reworded it. Sorry if you can hear my refrigerator going off next to me. It's the ice maker. So when you paraphrase, if you totally reword, what you've got to do is make sure that you aren't just changing a word or two from the author's original. You have to make the wording completely your own and still cite your source. So I saw several of you doing an excellent job. You'd clearly gone through the PowerPoint and the handout and double-checked your work. And some of you were making some major errors with source citations. You cannot make those kinds of errors in the next 2 essays, major errors with source citation, and expect to do very well. So we can take this paper as a learning experience with sources, and please make sure you understand any mistakes you made. The works cited page should have been pretty much perfect for an A since I looked at it for you in the rough draft phase, and there was a great example of a correctly formatted one with Seeger's essay cited correctly in that example essay we looked at. Excuse me. Then we go to conclusion. An excellent conclusion providing closure. See, that's not worth quite as much, just 5%. And then sentence level category. Demonstrates excellent use of language and sentence variety, contains almost no grammatical mistakes. Sliding scale down to F, where grammatical mistakes cause distraction and confusion. So what you'll see is this will be filled in and you'll see where your essay fell, and then you can open up this rubric again and read in more detail the description of where your essay fell and start thinking about how you can improve those things. Or if you have no idea how to improve them, ask me. But really, after writing an essay, you need to do some self-evaluation and ask yourself if you've really gone over all the course material very carefully. And if you have and you're still struggling, then it's really time to reach out to me for help. But if you aren't going over the course material carefully, that is going to be the problem, the thing that's preventing you from doing well. As far as course grades go, remember that I keep a separate spreadsheet. You can see your discussion grades within Blackboard, and you can see your comp class grades within comp class, and you can see most of your writing assignment grades in Turnitin.com, but I keep those all on a spreadsheet. So I will be updating that spreadsheet within about a week and giving you what your current course grade is. But you should be able to gauge, pretty well based on how you're doing in the essays and if you're completing your work. If you have any urgent questions about your grade, always contact me. So that is my explanation for how to look at the rubric for Essay 2. I hope that it's helpful to you in understanding what you did well and what you can work on for next time.